Hello to Mrs. Jackson's 5th grade class at Beloit Elementary. My name is Christopher Mick. I am a NASA Solar System Ambassador, International Teacher Liaison, and today I'm working as a reporter for my hometown newspaper, the Hudson Star-Observer. And I live in Hudson, Wisconsin, but today I'm at the Kennedy Space Center. As you may have figured out by that big building behind me, that's the vehicle assembly building that was built for the Apollo program to stack the massive Saturn V rockets that put astronauts like Neil Armstrong on the surface of the moon. And I am doing a little shout out to some of the students that my friends work with around the country that couldn't be here for this kind of momentous event. Why is it momentous? Because we're getting ready to launch the Artemis 1 rocket. Space Launch System rocket Artemis 1 mission. So today is Sunday, August 28th. It is scheduled to launch in less than 24 hours. It'll be launching tomorrow morning, Monday, August 29th. So I just wanted to do a shout out to you. I'm hoping you're having a great school year so far, and to give you a little bit of what it might feel like if you were here at the press site working as a reporter. So I've got my credentials to be in this area. Vehicle assembly building is there. That's still being used today. That was used to stack the Space Launch System rocket, which is out at the launch pad. And just showing you around a little bit, behind me are some of the media tents where they're getting ready for TV remotes and live broadcasts and things they'll be doing tonight and tomorrow morning. So that is for that area. And then I can walk you towards the countdown clock and the rocket here. So I'm going to kind of flip it around so you can see it. So there's been a lot of interviews and information panels for the different companies that work on the rocket. So if you can see there, that is the flagpole with the countdown clock. So you can see we're just over 15 hours away from the scheduled launch. There's a 2-hour launch window, 8:33 to 10:33 local time here in Florida tomorrow morning. So they'd like to launch right at 8:33, but if they have a technical problem or a fueling problem or a computer glitch, they can launch anywhere in that 2-hour window. They can't launch later than that because things need to be lined up where the moon is in its orbit, where we are in our rotation, on our 24-hour rotation cycle, things like that. So they have to launch within those 2 hours, but hopefully the latest weather station report was that we're 70% go for weather. So there's a pretty good chance it will work out, barring anything else. So I'll walk you over a little closer here so you can, it's hard with the iPad to zoom in on the rocket, but I'll give you hopefully a shot where you can kind of make it out on the pad there. So the rocket is out there on pad 39B. It's the Space Launch System rocket. And we've been having off and on rain throughout the day, but it's clear now, a little drizzly, and you can see all the tripods for the media for where their cameras are going to be for documenting the launch. I'll try to send along some photos as well. I was able to take some photos earlier this morning and last night to get some closer views. The reason we have to be so far away, we're all just a little over 3 miles away from the actual rocket, is because that's the safe zone. If there was anything to go horribly wrong with the rocket during fueling or immediately after launch and there was an explosion, though the vehicle was lost, the blast radius, you need to be at least 3 miles away in all directions. So the ocean is right there behind it, so it's kind of just a half circle on our side to stay away. So I'll give you a closer up view of the rockets. So this is real time. So the countdown was started about 44 hours before launch is when they do a call to stations and everybody shows up at their console, monitoring all the systems with the rocket, and all these different steps happen during the countdown. But that's where we are now, just over 15 hours away. So some of the other launch pads you can see from this view. So if you can see straight out there, the darker looking tower on the left is the pad 39A. So that was also a former launch pad for Space Shuttle and for Apollo rockets, and now NASA leases it to SpaceX, and they launched their Falcon 9 Falcon Heavy rockets there. And then you might be able to make out the crane in between them, and the larger tower on the other side. The larger tower is for SpaceX's new Starship vehicle, and that's quite large, two-stage rocket. And they currently have a launch tower down in Boca Chica, Texas, and now they're building one here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And the Starship will actually be the lunar lander vehicle for the first two Artemis missions to land on the moon a few years from now. And then panning over, you can see pad 40, where SpaceX launched last night, and some of the other launch pads, more of the media tents. I'm probably in their live shots. And we'll walk back this way. So wrapping it up, some people have asked about the launch. There is no crew on board. This is an uncrewed test flight. So all the systems have been tested individually. The Orion capsule, where the astronauts would be sitting, has been launched before. Got a little model of it there. So this has been launched in 2014. Did a successful test, but this is the first time everything together has been launched. So the rocket looks like that. So it has these two white boosters that are strapped onto each side. Those are a solid rocket fuel, and they may look familiar if you've ever seen a space shuttle launch or photos of that. They're the same type of rocket boosters. If you see the black lines, the ones of the space shuttle were 4 segments tall. They've added a 5th segment to get more power and more thrust. But other than that, they're the same boosters from the space shuttle. And the center orange tank is kind of like the orange external tank on the space shuttle. Again, if you've seen any of those photos or videos, but they stretched it. It's a really long booster, and more fuel, again, more thrust, so they can escape Earth's gravity and get payloads and things out to the moon. And then that capsule I showed you sits right on top here under the escape tower. The escape tower would pull the capsule away from the rocket if there was any problem, to keep the astronauts safe. And this whole system is being put together for the first time for a launch. So they're going to launch it hopefully tomorrow morning. 42-day mission around the moon, really test everything out, and if that works well, then it'll be cleared for astronauts to ride on Artemis 2, which should be in about 2 years' time from now. And that would orbit the moon with astronauts for like the first time in 50-something years. So I hope you enjoyed your little press tour that you don't normally get access to. I'll pan around one more time. They're going to be doing, if you can see those trailers there, NASA's going to be shooting 360 virtual reality videos of the launch. So I'm sure those will be posted. Your teacher may be able to give access to those links once they post them. The big vehicle assembly building, again, with those large doors, about 375 feet tall each door, where they can roll the rockets out to the launch pad. And then more of the stages being set up for the launch of Artemis 1 out there on the pad in the distance. Let me try to zoom, if that'll work. There you go there. Okay. So again, have a great school year. Glad I could do this video for you, and we'll talk soon.